The biggest free agency coming over. All right, because I want to get back to Jordan Matthews in a second, but we're talking offense here, guys. 347-637-3859. The biggest free agent, in my opinion, not spoken of in the offseason, Darren Sproles coming over from the New Orleans Saints. I mean, this is a guy and San Diego was people would arguably say, hey, let's get LT out of there, okay, and let's put Darren Sproles in. He would arguably put, along with Drew Brees coming over, helped out the New Orleans Saints over all these past years.
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, oh man, the acquisition of Darren Sproles, I was excited. I was excited because Darren Sproles is somebody that on Madden, since he's been in the league, I've traded him to my team.
You know what? I was going to use the analogy of John Madden football, but I tried to stay away from it this show. Go ahead. Now you pulled me right back in.
Yeah, I mean, Darren Sproles is one of them players that you can run him out of the backfield for on a passing play. You can run him. You can hand the ball off to him a good 10 times a game. He's going to produce for you, and this is going to be what it is. I mean, he's going to produce for you. He's produced every year. But give me his stats, Mike. I know you have his stats in front of you.
Darren Sproles stats. Actually, before I bring up Darren Sproles stats, I was already looking on another link speaking about this offense by adding Darren Sproles, what I think Jordan Matthews can do. And I'm going to talk about the receiver we got coming back, Macklin, and the quarterback in a second. But looking at Chip Kelly's offense, all right, I got second in the NFL with 417.3 yards a game, only behind, obviously, Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. Ninth in the league in passing yards at 256. Led the league in rushing. That's the all-tell sign. And again, I still don't think this coach, I'm sorry, if you will, so to speak, even still has his quarterback, in my opinion. We'll talk about that later as well. Third down efficiency, 39%, 12th in the NFL, still above normal, above the league average. At 52nd in the red zone, which we came up a lot from Andy Reid, where we were dead last in the red zone. So to come back 18th, and that stat is also misleading, as we wasn't in the red zone too often, because we scored big. We led the NFL with plays over 20 yards in rushing and passing in a landslide in that category. And then obviously last in the league, because time of possession, he doesn't care, because his motto is big people beat up little people. Okay, and then fourth in the NFL in scoring. So to sit there and bring in this receiver from the SEC and Jordan Matthews, an experienced hole maker, bringing over pretty much Brian Westbrook version 2 to the Philadelphia Eagles and Darren Sproles, having Shady. If Nick Foles, as you put it, and I'm going to say this as you brought up the Madden reference. Now, I got to bring up a Madden reference. I can't wait to play with Nick Foles because it's all about the year before. Accuracy is going to be key in that football game. How can we not be successful in this offense? Any of these guys, J. Chris?
How can we not be successful? Do you really want me to answer that? Because that means I have to take off my eagle-colored goggles. But
okay,
how are we not successful if the offensive line doesn't hold up? And I know we're going to get to that in a little bit. But if the offensive line, the key is the offensive line. The key's been the offensive line for the past few years. Offensive line has really stepped it up on the second half of last year. I don't know if it was the fact that they had Nick Foles back there, or there was Michael Vick was no longer back there. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But
Can we not go there? Can we not go there? I have his jersey on because I miss him. If you're gonna sit somewhere, Michael Vick, and just teach somebody, you could have stayed here. Sorry.
Yeah, she could have stayed here for that. Could have stayed here for that. I wanted Michael Vick to be on this team, but.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could see our offense not flourishing is if the line, and I mean that's an obvious answer, but our line is another year older. We have Todd Ehrman getting another year older, and there's talks of, him may not be even being on the team much longer, even if it's this year. Lane Johnson with his 4-game suspension, big dummy. I got to give him Big Dummy Award.
PEDs.
And then we got, Jason Peter, another year older. I mean, our line is getting another year older, and it kind of reminds me of the Phillies when they had their dynamic starting rotation.
Look, I'm a huge Philly supporter. Please, let's not go there. It's not a Philly show. I get my heart.
Not a Philly show,
Chicago guy bring over and bench Ryan and bench the big guy himself like that for 2 games and Ryan Howard? I'm sorry, I just don't see why you don't bench.
Yeah, I don't want to go there. I just wanted to use the reference as
okay.
The pitchers were getting older.
I'm sorry. Well, I got the stats for you for Darren Sproles. He played in 15 games last year, and this is the part I love. He was the running back. 71 receptions. The year before that, 75. The year before that, 86 receptions. But last year, 71 receptions, averaged 8.5 yards in reception, 604 yards. Only rushed the ball because he wasn't the main rusher there last year. He was only pretty much a primary third down back. Okay,
right.
And then also he played a lot in their bunch packages where he got some of his yards, and probably where he ran 53 times for 220 yards, but he averaged 4.2 yards a carry in that department. But also with that, he had 4 touchdowns total on the year. So that was his stats. Amazing coming over. But you're talking about that line, okay? And obviously Lane Johnson is going to be gone for 4 games. Big loss or a minimum loss we can overcome with it only being 4 weeks?
I want to say it's a minimal loss that we can overcome. But I also want to say that there's a possibility that Lane Johnson his job may not be available when he comes off of that suspension.
Oh, wow. I doubt that now. Come on. Where do you get that? Come on. Give it to me.
You got Alan Barber, who is a 7-year veteran, okay, which in football terms is pretty old. But he stepped in for Jason Peter last year and did well in the win against Green Bay. Okay, he's a veteran. He knows what's going on. He knows what to do. The only thing that's working against him is the fact that he plays the left side of the line and him switching over to the right side of the line. Luckily, it's the beginning of camp, so he can make the adjustments. We hope. But we hope. Yes, we hope. But that'll probably be his biggest trial, his biggest test, I should say.
Here's my thing. As we live from the Nest 347-637-3859, Lane Johnson to me was so huge last year. If you look at some of the tape, and I know you more than I do, go back and look at Eagles games and study them as you like to get into the lab. I know Mr. Logan himself, who is inconspicuous by his absence. No, he is not. He is running late. He just gave me an email. He is in a late studio session, if you will. So he shall hopefully join us before the end of the program is over. But if you look at some of this tape that went on last year, Lane Johnson, remember the quirky package we had with the 3 offensive linemen and everybody else was spread out last year? I think we ran it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
On those plays, Lane Johnson was out wide, because he could play the tight end kind of role as well. When we rushed, when Shady got a lot of his big runs, it was upfield blocks that Lane Johnson did. Lane Johnson's speed, Lane Johnson's agility helped a lot in this offense, and I'm just wondering if Barber can do that kind of thing. I don't think he has that same kind of motor. And I know we gave him a contract in the offseason because it's always good to have a good backup, especially like you said, our line's getting old. But Evan Mathis is, oh, my God, may I add, he's to be talking Madden, and we will have Madden talk coming up sooner. He is the 4th overall best lineman in the game. The guys even say, just give Shady the ball and run behind Mathis. So guess what, guys who play Madden? I'm going to give the ball to Shady and run behind Mathis. But I'm concerned about this offensive line. I really am. We're talking about Shady. We're talking about this whole entire offense and what we got to prove without Deshaun Jackson. I hate losing Lane Johnson for these 4 games.
Yeah, the first 4 games, I don't have I'm going to pull up the schedule. I don't have the schedule in front of me. The first 4 games are really going to be telling because once
Jacksonville,
I'm
not worried about, except for every team plays hard the first game, and Gus got a hell of a defense. So I'm a little, not a hell of a defense. That's a very wrong statement about Jacksonville, but they're going to play hard.
Yeah, they're definitely going to play hard. Is it a home game or away game? My schedule is loading right now.
See there, if you had Verizon Fios, you wouldn't have that problem.
Okay, here it is. It's a home game. It's a home game.
Against Jacksonville? Ew. Anybody got
free tickets? It's a home game against Jacksonville, 1:00 game on CBS on the Eyeball Network.
On the Eyeball Network. That's the Illuminati Network. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that live on air. My bad.
So that's September 7th. It's a home game. We'll be dealing with the Heat, but we won't be dealing with the Florida Heat. So I think them coming up here, the Eagles fans are going to be rabid.
That second game? Come on, we gotta play a second game against the Indianapolis Colts. I hope Nick Foles eats his ass up. That's who I'm talking about. Andrew is not just luck. Yeah, I gotta say that because he's that damn good. And the Indianapolis Colts in that game too. I'm worried about that game.
That's a Monday night game too.
This schedule is bull crap. We get one good game out of the first four that I think we got in the bag. Got to worry about Washington just because, right?
Yep.
Then San Francisco, obviously, and then hell, we can say we can beat the Rams, but can we?
I mean, Rams always give us a rough time.
That's my point.
It seems like we always have a rough
our offensive linemen against two. Jacksonville's defense got to prove itself. Washington defense has to prove itself. San Francisco, Indianapolis, and he'll be back by the Rams game. So two of those four games, Lane Johnson, I think, is going to be missed. He's going to be tested. Barber's going to be tested. Can Chip still run his offense with Barber? That's the question we got to find out in these coming weeks watching camp. You know, when we got to get into camp, we got to see what this guy can do.
Definitely. And three of the first 3 of the first 6 games are primetime games. One's a 4:25 game, but that's
right,
the Niners game. So that's going to be the
game of the week. Right.
Yeah. So they're primetime games, and so we got a lot of folks. I'm looking down the Giants. We got a lot of folks.
Game. Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. Like, God, we got a lot of shows at 12 o'clock at night. Coming on the Eagles post game. We have to go Eagles pregame. I don't know, but we got what? That's one.
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Right, that's a lot of prime games.
We probably have one of the toughest schedules in the league right now.
I think we do, and I said that when the schedule got released on Hour of Power Sports every Saturday at 6:30. This schedule is ridiculous. The schedule is ridiculous. We play
the NFC West.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No. I was going to say, how do you sandwich our biggest rivalry the last 10 years? In between that sandwich, we got Seattle.
Right.
We got Dallas, Seattle, Dallas.
And you know what's funny about that situation, Mike? That Seattle game is going to be very, very interesting. Not just because it's Seattle, not just because it's the defending Super Bowl champions, but if I'm not mistaken, the Seattle Seahawks have the San Francisco 49ers sandwich the same way we have the Cowboys sandwich.
Oh, that'd be good because it might be a letdown game or a look-ahead game or a game.
For which team, though? That's the question.
Right. That is the question. You know what? Do you like having buys early or late in the season? As a fan, I like them late in the season because it gives my players time. Week 6, at week 7. So I bet that's virtually mid-season.
That's a little. I would like it like week 8, week 9. I like those a little better. Just because come playoff time, you have less of your schedule come playoff time, or at least half of your schedule. We play less than half of our schedule before the bye. So the fact that the bye is week 7, I mean, we have, it's only what's that, 6 games? Yeah, 6 games before the bye. We got to play 10 games after the bye, and then we got to go into the playoffs. And I'm going to assume, these doggone cops, excuse me. I'm going to assume, I'm just going to put it out there that we won't have a first round bye.
Okay,
that's just my prediction.
Can we speak before we go back into camp, right? Before we go back into camp, because we got to talk about Nick Foles. We have to talk about this defensive battle because we're talking offense right now the first half of the show because that's where our coach goes. But the defense is what I think is most impressive or has been most impressive and what I think will get us over the hump. So we got to talk about that position battle, the safety position, and definitely our linebackers. But before we go there, in that discussion, because like I said, when I finish this offensive talk off, the schedule, I think we could be. I feel we would be a better team, but I'm scared about, because of the schedule, our record. Let's play the record game. I know it's preseason. We haven't even had a training camp yet. Prayerfully, knock on wood, no one gets, the all dirty I word between here and the season starts.